Do you ever just feel like that we're sort of in the middle of a slow motion apocalypse? I feel like that.
Hello everyone, it's me Leno. Welcome to this month's episode of Leno's Garage. In this show we talk about cars and shit. Cool cars that you saw boomers like me drive before you were even conceived. Look at these sexy ass cars. I have a garage. Take a nice look at this car. I had a nice time riding in it. Do you know who else did? Your mom. Laugh loud, I'm so funny. Isn't that right, Elon Musk?
Yes, you are, Jay. Now if you excuse me, I have to break my unbreakable window on my main truck.
Sure? Yeah. Oh my fucking god.
Such wacky adventures we have in the garage.
Well, that was a thing that happened.
Hello, everybody. Sorry for the, in case you're wondering why I sound a little different, it's because I'm using my phone mic this time around. This is gonna be a little bit different in the sense that, for the first time ever in this podcast's history, I'm going to try and go full out for, like, at least 30 minutes. You know, at least 30, so that way, you know, this might be a shorter episode than usual, but you know, I'm gonna see if I can try and go without any separate recordings. This is just all gonna be done in one go, all in one go. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. I'm sorry if you hear any construction going on outside right now. I'm in my garage at the moment. Originally, this episode was going to be recorded entirely outside. Because, you know, I really liked how the last outdoor segment of the, last episode of the podcast turned out. And, well, of course, right on the day where I'm about to record this shit, my neighbors decided to just do some loud construction work, which, for a variety of reasons, would not really go well with me just sitting outside, and I don't want you guys listening to loud construction work. So, yeah, so I'm in my garage for right now. I mean, I can hear the construction still, but hopefully you guys can't. So yeah, so I guess without further ado, I guess we can just, jump right into it. So, Cyberpunk got delayed. Again. So that's pretty funny. But yeah, you know, Cyberpunk is always a game that, like, I was, like, kinda... I don't know, I was kind of... I was hyped for it, but I was more cautiously hyped. Like, I haven't really seen much gameplay of it. I've heard some interesting features that I would be into, which may or may not be cut. I'm not even entirely sure. But you know, I've been trying to keep my expectations in check, but also, you know, cautiously hyped about it. And you know, they've delayed it like several different times. I think it was like what? I think it was like first revealed in like 2013. Or at least that was when it was first talked about. And, you know, then I feel like I never really heard about it again until recently. It was supposed to release in like March or April of like of this year. And then it got pushed back to September. Okay. And then September comes around, it gets pushed back till November. Alright. I mean, fine. And then, and then they're like, you know, then they're like, okay, we swear, this is the last delay. everything's gonna be super cool, and everything's gonna be cool and all. There's gonna be no more delays. It's like gold certified now, which I didn't even know was a thing until somebody explained it to me. It was gold and everything was gonna be great. It's gonna be great. So then then a couple days ago, this was right after the development team talked to somebody on Twitter and was like, "Oh yeah, no, totally no more delays. Take that day off from work, my friend. You can do it." They delayed it again to December 10th. Oh my god. Like, at this point, it's just sort of getting beyond parody at this point. Like, like at some point, you're just like, okay. And like, honestly, it would be the funniest thing in the world if Cyberpunk ended up getting, if it just either ended up being like, really, really, like, if it ended up, like, being like this generation's Duke Nukem Forever, like being held back and held back and held back until it finally releases and then everybody just kind of says that it's bad. Or December 10th comes around and they just decide to cancel it all. Which, I'm not sure which one would be funnier. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I hope the game is good. Trust me, I mean, I would plan on getting it if it's good. And, it's CD Projekt Red, which it has a good track record of having some really good games under their belt. And and while the probability of it being bad or at least disappointing is low, it's not zero. So again, I hope that it isn't bad, but it would be pretty funny if it was. Like, oh god. Man, and that's like one of the only games that have come out. I mean, yeah, what other games have come out this year? Animal Crossing, Doom Eternal, I don't know, Steve and Min Min got released for a... Wait, wasn't Min Min last year? I don't even remember. But I know Steve got released last month. And that was pretty funny. And now, rumors have it that, apparently there have been talks about getting a Fortnite character into Smash. Or, I mean, at least something Fortnite. If not a character, then, like, maybe, like, a Mii costume or something. But I just know that, like, oh my god. I just know that if those rumors are true, people are gonna be so mad. It's gonna be... Dude, Sakurai is something else, dude. Like, every once in a while, like, I mean, for the most part, he generally gives the people what they want, but sometimes he'll just do things that will just make people at least, like, at best, scratch their heads, and at times just be completely enraged. It's so funny. Oh, God. I'm still waiting on Waluigi getting into Smash, though. Come on, Sakurai. Come on. You can, come on, I know you can do it. You can, come on. Bring in Waluigi. Free my boy. He doesn't deserve to be an assist trophy anymore. It's been too long. Let him in. Folks, it's time for me to batten down the hatches. It has snowed where I live. Yes, it has indeed snowed. Not much, mind you, not much. Like, it was enough that it was able to cover, like, some trees and stuff, but, like, it was nothing, like, super hardcore or anything. Like, we didn't get, like, a foot or two. It wasn't even, like, a foot. It was just, like, it was that kind of snow that's just sort of on the ground, sorta, just kind of there, very, like, thin layer. Most of it usually just melts by the time the day is over. That kind of snow. But, snow is snow, and it's that time of year where everybody gets all panicky because, oh god, oh no, oh god, it's gonna snow. And when you live in New England, like I do, that can mean some trouble afoot. But if you're a kid growing up here, god, it's like the greatest thing in the world. School closings and all that other stuff, fun stuff. And that's always really good. I always liked my winters growing up. You know, although I don't know, maybe it's just a product of me getting older, but I feel like the mysticism of like the wintertime has kind of worn off for me a little bit. Like I remember, like, you know, when I was a kid, like I feel like every time there would be a big snowstorm or something, like I could hardly get out the door because of how much snow there was. But like I feel like, again, maybe it's just me being a kid and just exaggerating things in my mind, but like I feel like as I got older, the snow just kind of got a lot less and less. I remember one year in particular, and if you lived in New England, specifically Massachusetts and New Hampshire, you might know what I'm talking about here. There was one year in October where we had like this really big, it was like this big snow/ice storm. It didn't hit New Hampshire as bad, but Massachusetts ended up getting hit pretty hard by it. This was like back in, I want to say, 2011? 2012, maybe? I'm not entirely sure. But, but I just remember that time, like, it snowed very heavily that one time, and then throughout the rest of November and December, we got, like, hardly any snow at all. I remember being kind of pissed during that whole time, because I was like, God, we got the snow at the very end of October, and that was it. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, too much snow is bad, but I like at least a bit of snow. Like, at least enough snow that I could make it feel like, wow, it's like a winter wonderland without, traffic accidents, you know? So, you know, I always kind of liked the, you know... Also, there's no comfier feeling. I mean, oh god. Especially when, like, back when I was in, like, middle and high school, like, when, it would be like a snow day, and I would sleep in a little late without realizing it, and then I would like slowly wake up, and then I would just notice all this, you know, the skies were gray, there was snow all over the place, and then of course I got the news that school was either canceled or had to delay, or at least had to delay in opening. And those were really, really comfy times. I hope snow was good this year. I hope, you know, we don't get, like, anything, like, too crazy, but, you know, at least something that I can, you know, sit there and be like, hey, this is nice. But, of course, having the wacky New England weather that we have, you know, there's probably going to be a few instances where I lose power, and I'm not happy. I'm not a happy person when I lose power. I hate power outages so much. To me, I feel like having a power outage should not be a problem in the 21st century. It really shouldn't be. I'm honestly shocked that, like, we haven't found, like, any like, mass solution for that sort of thing yet. Like, I don't know. I wish... God. I feel like we need to find a solution for power outages, because the fact that we still deal with them in the year 2020 is, quite frankly, a little ridiculous. So, there you go. You know, a lot of people like to debate of, like, who gets the worst snow. A lot of people in the Midwest say they get it, and, I mean, I haven't been to the Midwest, so, I mean, I can't really judge it, but in the Northeast, yeah, it gets, pretty bad. And you would think that cities and stuff would be prepared for it. But a lot of them are not, but a lot of them aren't. In fact, there's one city in particular that I know for a fact has no idea what it's doing. Or at least one big East Coast city that I know for a fact has no plans when it comes to, like, big snowstorms. And you know what that city is? New York. You want to know how I know this? I lived there for 2 years. And there was one day I was walking home from school. This was back when I was in college. I was walking home from school back to my apartment, and there was like, there was like all of the snow. Like, well, first it started out like we all noticed it when we were in class, and like my professor was like, "Oh, it's just like wet snow. It's not gonna stick." Only for me about like a couple hours or so later to walk out of the building and just see the entire city just submerged in snow and everybody just losing their minds in the process. Like, you could hear sirens like all over the place, ambulances, police, you name it. I remember in particular, while I was on that walk home, I saw like this old dude laying on the sidewalk just with a broken leg, like just laying there with a broken leg. Now, people were there helping him, all right? So he was probably going to be okay, all right? Like, I didn't really need to intervene. People were already around helping him. But, man, that was pretty wild to see. And you would think that, like, a big city like New York would be prepared for that kind of thing, but really, they're not. Like, you would think they would, because they're, like, the biggest city in the Northeast. They're one of the biggest cities in the world in general. So you would think that they'd have a plan in place for this sort of thing happening, but it's insane to me that they don't, honestly. It also a little hilarious in retrospect, but like, dude, come on, New York, you gotta get your shit together when it comes to that stuff. Come on, man. Come on. Maybe things have changed. It's been about less than a year since I've moved out. In large part due to COVID. But, So, as of right now, the construction work has, ceased where I am. However, so I could go back outside and record this episode how I originally intended to record it, which was, being all outside. However, I started in the garage, and I don't want to be inconsistent. Plus, I don't know, I think it'd be funny to give this episode, like, a funny title that would, maybe something poking fun at, like, Jay Leno's garage or something. I don't know, I just think it'd be funny. But yeah, we're staying in the garage, whether you like it or not, so, sorry. So I have been debating with myself as to whether or not I should really bring this up on the pod. But given how it is kind of the big elephant in the room, and given that I'm American, and let's face it, probably most of the people that listen to this show are also probably American. Yeah, the election's this Tuesday. I'm not really that excited about it, for various reasons. I just feel like this election, at least, it's gonna be a culmination of just every wacky, crazy thing that has happened in this country for like the past year. And, and I can't help but feel like my channel was, in a weird way, is kind of like sort of an inadvertent capsule of how I kind of was during this time. Like, all this crazy stuff has been happening, and I've just sort of been sitting in my room playing video games. But, I mean, I don't know, I just feel like, in part due to this virus, everything has just been going, like, so quick. And now we're here. We are here at the, well, as right now it's Saturday, October 30th, when I'm recording this. This is probably going to go up, I assume, tomorrow on Halloween. Ooh, spooky. So, like, it's like, I feel like I'm living in, like, a calm before the storm kind of deal, if you ask me who I think is going to win? Honestly, I can't really give you a clear answer. I have heard convincing arguments for both major candidates as to how they could win it. But I'm not going to throw any major predictions out there, partially because I don't want any potential flame wars and comments, even though my videos don't really get many comments anyways, so, you know. God. Again, I try to stay as apolitical as possible on this channel, but, you know, sometimes it can be weird when discussing, stuff like this. You know, I mean, I guess, especially considering all the crazy stuff that's happened, you know, our president caught COVID until he didn't have it anymore after, like, getting super pumped up on just this cocktail of old people drugs, probably. You know, it's gonna get pretty wacky, you know, especially with COVID and everything. I do have my plans for Election Day. You know, and I would highly, and I guess while I'm on the topic, I would highly suggest that if you are able to, you know, assuming you have the abilities and proper requisites to, you know, go vote. Go do your voting. It's important. We live in a democracy, and to just not vote would be kind of, it's pretty cringe. If I'm being quite honest with you, it's pretty cringe not to participate in democracy. I mean, it's one of the things I feel like we really should value. So do it. But yeah, I mean, I at least have a plan for voting. I'm gonna wake up, wait for a proper time. I'm gonna be voting in person, actually, on the day of Election Day. I'm not one of those people that have mailed in their ballots early. In part, well, for a couple of reasons. Number one is that given what I've heard about how the USPS is currently being run right now, and just like all that other stuff, I don't know if I necessarily trust the USPS in its current form right now to really count my vote. So basically, given that the town that I live in right now has doesn't really have any COVID issues at the moment, although with that being said, as of this recording, my state has slowly but surely been getting into the red, which, you know, I'm hoping doesn't, you know, escalate any further than that, especially given that it's just a few days before said election. Oh man, it's getting crazy, dude. And basically, I'm just gonna get up, wait for a proper time to go in where the lines aren't super crazy, which generally they aren't in my town. Walk in, take the proper precautions, you know, wear a mask, you know, hand sanitizer, maybe even gloves if I have to, I don't know. You know, walk in, vote, leave, and then after that, just ignore any and all political news for that day, because I'm just trying to disassociate it. I'm just basically, just after I'm done voting, just disassociate from everything, and then when night comes, get on Discord and maybe listen for all the results to roll in, and, you know, and then maybe wake up the next day and then start to panic, depending on whatever happens, you know. I don't know. I mean, and even then, like, given the wackiness of this year and given the wackiness of this election, you know, we might not hear who the president is until, like, later in the month. So that'll be pretty interesting. I'm not excited about it, but at the same time, I'm also waiting with bated breath as to how this is going to turn out. Oh god, this is gonna be a complete shit show. Regardless, though, I just have a feeling. But yeah, if you leave this podcast with anything, go vote. Be safe while doing so, whether you're mailing it in or you're doing it in person like I am. Just be safe out there and exercise your rights to vote and whatever. So yeah, I think I made it through this. I think I talked about this without being super weird about it. I think. But yeah, go vote. Bye. Go vote. Go vote. Go vote. Well, I guess that's it for this episode of Dave Time. Sorry if this was a little shorter than I anticipated. Again, like I really, it's so weird doing these podcasts and not really having a set time, not really having like a set like time frame as to when to begin and end them. At first I meant for these to like maybe go for about roughly an hour or so, but then that got changed to like maybe 45 minutes, and now this episode's probably going to be around somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe like 30 to 35 minutes. So sorry. I guess this is sort of a consequence of putting it off and putting it off and putting it off until like what was essentially the very last minute. But I hope you, regardless, I hope you enjoyed this edition of Dave Time, and hopefully the next episode will be a bit more, will be a bit longer. And I guess, and I assume these are probably just going to be monthly things. I guess. I don't know if I talked about this before, but I guess this is just going to be a monthly podcast, I guess. Usually most podcasts are like once or twice a week, but this one's once a month. But I hope it's at least worth the wait, though. If you like hearing me blabber about things, I guess. I don't know. The last episode I did, I ended on a song, but, what ended up happening is that, like, I used this very slowed down version of the song, which I assumed wouldn't get caught by YouTube's, copyright goons, but I guess they found it, and they didn't take down my video, thankfully, but they did, remove it from, monetization, which is a little weird considering that, well, I don't have enough, requisites to get monetized on this channel, so I don't really see the point in that, which is again a little odd, but whatever. Doesn't really bother me too much. This is more of a hobbyist channel anyway, so I don't really give a fuck. Regardless, yeah, thanks for listening, and you know what? I'm gonna suggest I'm gonna end this on a video that I think you should watch. Not from me, but from a different channel. I think I've referenced him on this channel before. The guy's name is Ross Scott from the channel Accursed Farms. Recently, he put out. Man, this is why I meant to do this episode earlier, so I could talk about it when it came out. But yeah, recently he did an episode of Ross's Game Dungeon on a game called Sonic Heroes, which I played quite a bit of as a kid, and I bring this up because, number one, it's a great video, and number two, as I was watching it, I couldn't help but get like this, almost like this weird quarter-life crisis thing where like I'm watching him, I'm watching the video and I think it's funny and all, but like I'm watching all this footage and it's just bringing me back, and I'm just like, God, what happened, So go check out that video because I really enjoy it, and so I guess with that all being said and done, thanks for listening, and I'll see you next month, I guess. And hey, I'm dropping this on Halloween, so if you have any candy lying around, eat that. Eat it all. Eat it all, and don't even go to the dentist. Lose all your teeth. Eat it all. Eat it.